Welcome back to Mind Your Business. I'm Andy G. This is part 2 of wintering down. In fact, it's been a couple of weeks since I was last here checking the hives. I just had a quick look at them and they are thriving. It's brilliant. It's quite funny actually, because at the start of my beekeeping journey I thought I've got to check them 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whenever I can. It's not the case. So I've been doing pretty well, having not seen them for a couple of weeks. But anyway, part 2 of wintering down. There's a couple of things I want to do here. I've got an old shade sail which I'm going to put across the hives, which will keep any frost off, because we're getting closer to the sort of the frosty months now, so that'll keep any frost off, and I think will act as a nice barrier over the top of the hives without getting in the way of their exit and entry into those hives. But also there's a big pile of old pallets and bits and pieces here. So I think I might have to repurpose some of those and almost build a sort of a fence around them. So let's see how we go with that. It's not going to look great, but it's going to do the job I intend it to. So anyway, let's crack on. Interestingly, walking back from that big pile of old pallets and bits, there's some old refrigeration paneling here, which is almost like a polystyrene sandwich, and there's a whole stack of them here. I wonder if I could have a yarn with my bro-in-law, and if he doesn't want to use those, then maybe I can around the hives. That'd be ideal, wouldn't it? Oh, baby, come on. Yeah, there we go. They're getting a bit snippy. But that looks alright, eh? Woohoo! Alright. That'll just help keep the frost off. They're not liking it though. It's not time for it yet, but I'll just take it off for now. So they weren't terribly impressed with that when it was on, but I think what I'll do is I'll just leave it off for now, but put it back on whenever there is a frost due. I don't think they liked it, because it was just like, what is this big new thing? It's throwing us off. We've forgotten where we live. I guess it can be quite confusing for them. But anyway, next job, now that that's done, is to look at some resilience with building a great wall. Maybe using that big pile that I just showed you at the start of the video. It's getting there. So I'm just on my way now to get some of those refrigeration panels, because they'll help with a bit of insulation. I hope they'll work. Haven't 100% got my head around how I'm going to make them work yet. Anyway, I'll grab a couple of those. Now, the previous scene where you saw me putting the shade sail up, I'll be honest, that was about 2 weeks ago. Through the absolute magic of editing, a lot of my episodes are not always filmed on the same day. So I'm just being transparent with you, because it's now been 2 weeks. It's a stunning day. So I've come back just to finish off this episode. But sadly, I've figured out that my small hive has died since I put that shade sail there. So we'll have to sort of dig into that in the next episode, but I'll continue with the wintering down side of things. But damn. So I've got the polystyrene blocks back at the hives now, and what I'll do is I'll make a whole new episode, a part 3 of wintering down, when I get those polystyrene blocks around the hive. And I say hive because sadly I've lost the little hive. So in the next episode we'll we'll dig into that and figure out why. And that next episode will be out pretty soon because I'm going to film it very shortly. Once I've had a bit of lunch, I'm going to sit here and watch these bees do their thing because they look happy and strong. And again, as usual, thanks for joining me on Mind Your Business. I'm Andy G with One Hive Less.